Good afternoon. This is Debbie Davis. It is May 17th, 2026. Okay, so I have some things that I want to talk about today, but I want to just clarify some things from my last video about this phone call, why I record these things, because otherwise, if people don't understand why I record the phone calls, there's reasons behind that. I have, myself and other targeted people have had this issue for years where they're able to ping from a cell phone tower our phone calls to something called a fusion center. And, so you think that you're calling a certain customer service, like that USAA person. Literally, I was on the phone 20 minutes just to get the auto pay set up again, and I already did it 3 weeks prior. That's why half the time, that's not the way that a normal customer service person should act. The way this person acted. That's why I believe that I'm talking to something called a fusion center. Okay, and then my friend Tommy has the same thing happening. Okay, I've had him on my show. His name is Tommy Edwards. That we did a video together, and yeah, he said he's got the same thing happening. Anyway, yeah, he's not sure if he's talking to a fusion center or a real customer service thing. Okay, so so what these are is okay, what these are there's, you can look them up. They're in every state. Okay, and in Minnesota it's called the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Okay, this place is actually a fusion center. We know this now, and they're in South Dakota. I think the Sioux Falls area. These fusion centers, we know now that these fusion centers are operated by the CIA. Okay, and so what's happening to people like myself and other targeted people is, what they try to do is they try to isolate us. Okay, and they can ping, like, say, if they're after you. So if I was to call 911, if I was legitimately in danger, they would ping it to something called a fusion center, so you can't even call for help. Okay, that, I've talked about how much danger I've been in for years as a whistleblower, and it's literally a miracle, and I thank God every day at Jesus, for that I'm even alive, because there's so many whistleblowers and targeted people that haven't made it. Okay, so there's people disappearing, like these scientists and stuff, every day. It's truly a miracle that I've survived this. Okay, and so I've literally been targeted now for 13 years, like every day. I've showed the different things, the death threats, and how the police did nothing. Okay, this is ever since I reported a very serious crime at a military base in Phoenix. Phoenix was the center of the deep state because John McCain was a secret kingpin. Okay, this is, these are things that, these are things about our own government that we just have to understand. Okay, so anyway, yeah, they're in every state. Okay, so if you're a targeted person, they could be doing the same thing to you. Apparently, they just need a cell phone tower that they can ping it off of, and then they can ping your. They've been monitoring my phone for years, and they can ping it. And I don't know if I'm actually talking to a real customer service place, or one of these fusion centers. Okay, so in my opinion, we need to go after these fusion centers and just shut them down. Okay, these are operated by the CIA. Okay, and the CIA, I've talked about this before. The CIA is not supposed to be operating domestically. Okay, I've talked about the job of the CIA. If you don't know, okay, I've talked about this. That it's supposed to be, it has nothing to do. You are not supposed to be operating domestically at all. Your job is um, to help protect national security issues. So if there's a threat against our country, that's what the CIA is supposed to be for. It's 100% illegal for them to be operating inside the United States. Okay, so and these are then they're operating these fusion centers illegally, so they need to be shut down. Okay, so hopefully our intelligence agencies can understand this and somehow. I think they're doing a good job. I think Tulsi Gabbard's doing a good job. Yeah, absolutely. I just think there's a lot of things. The CIA, what is this? What is the role of the CIA? Okay, so I've talked about this before. So their job is to preeminent threats and furthering U.S. anything that has to do with national security, offering foreign intelligence, produce objective all-source analysis, and conduct covert action at the direction of the president. Uh, Unlike the FBI, the CIA does not have domestic law enforcement powers. Okay? Do not have domestic. Okay, you see that? So they're absolutely not supposed to be operating domestically at all. Your only job is for any kind of national security threats. Okay? So it's called the deep state side of the CIA. It's like the that's why they call it the deep state. It's you know, I'm sure there was at one time when the first CIA first started, I'm sure there was legitimate CIA agents. Mostly it's all, totally infiltrated by the deep state. Okay. Um, it's so that is I want to explain that because otherwise people might not understand why I get so upset and want and record these phone calls. That is why. It's very serious. I mean, what is the point of paying so much for a phone if I'm not actually if you're just using a cell phone tower, a Verizon cell phone tower to ping it to a fusion center. Okay, I mean I pay a lot for my phone bill. It's gone on for years. Okay, it's really has to be handled. Okay, and so I want to talk about that, and then okay, so and then I wanted to address these nasty comments. Okay, so I've just been informed. Somebody told me that I don't even half the time I don't even look at these comments. I've had trolls trolls putting nasty stuff on my channel for years. Okay, and I just delete them. It's literally it's called cyber stalking, and it should be illegal. It needs to be illegal. Okay. I have been through living hell as a whistleblower. It's a miracle that I'm even alive. Okay. I mean, they ruined my career, my military career. Then they continue to come after me still to this day. Had me illegally pulled over multiple times. The harassment, and then I have to deal with cyber stalkers and ridiculous people making just ridiculous comments as well on my channel. Okay, so I mean, it just tells a lot about that person's character. So I just wanted to address these. Apparently, on one of my channels, I'm just gonna delete and block these people. Okay, this is a guy named Todd Gall, and I met him. I met him. He's running for a position here. I met him at the commissioners meeting, and he decides to make some kind of nasty comment on my YouTube channel. So yeah, these people, I don't know. It's just there's this clique here that's really in cahoots with this guy named Rodney Hoffman and the sheriff. Okay, that don't like me, and because I have a pending lawsuit against this sheriff, and we'll talk about that subject again. And this has been a battle for for a long, long time with certain neighbors in this area in McPherson County that have had a lot of problems, and the sheriff doesn't do anything about it. We've had a lot of problems with this Rodney Hoffman, and the sheriff doesn't do anything about it. It's gone on for years and years and years and years. Okay, so there's certain people that are really in his corner, and then, um, you know, and so I pose a threat because I have this lawsuit pending, and but they but the federal court won't allow our federal lawsuit, which is supposed to take priority. It's they literally there's a corrupt judge in Pierre, Roberto Lang, that won't allow us to have our federal court date. We paid $400 to file a federal lawsuit, and back in 2019, it's Davis and Bruce Lowe against McPherson County, and they will not allow us to have our court date. Okay, it's 100% illegal what's going on here. It's we have, we're both veterans. Bruce and I and this other guy Stan, we're all veterans, and we don't get allowed to have a court date. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of corruption in South Dakota. It's a beautiful state, but there is a lot of corruption. Okay, in it. So I just so yeah, he's made this nasty comment about the video that I did where I said this guy Rodney is stalking me as I'm coming out of town. Okay, and he writes this. He said I was lying. Okay, so we're just gonna address this right here. He said this is a lie. That morning he was pulling out of his driveway. You stopped on the street to wait for him to leave and then proceeded to follow him out of town. I'm sorry. Like, first of all, I'm sorry. You don't even live in town. Like, how do you know all these details about what happened, Todd? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is so bizarre. Like, I mean, he acted like he was here, And this guy has illegal cameras on my house. Okay, he's in cahoots with the sheriff. There's so many illegal things here. So maybe he looked at the camera that Rodney has illegally. That's illegally. He has cameras like all around this town. I mean, he literally thinks he owns the town. And so this is what I have to deal with here. Okay. So he said, "Oh, you stopped on the street to wait for him to leave and then proceeded to follow him out of town?" No, that's not what happened, Todd. It was like he was trying to block me from leaving town. I was trying to leave to go back to Minnesota to pick up more stuff out of storage. And it was like he was trying to block me from. He still has my second car blocked. Okay, I still can't get that car out. Okay, I mean, right there he should be arrested. And he went on my property, and actually nailed shut that side. Okay, so that's trespassing. Okay, so what's happening is that there's that's my shed and that's my car inside, but then like 4 feet over where he put that that I have a video of him where he put this big snowplow, so I couldn't get my car out. That's where his side of the property starts. So he just decides that he's gonna be a jerk and put a big snowplow there so I can't get my car out. It's not like I wanted to park my car on his, all I wanted to do was pull it around because that's the bigger side and I can't. The other side is too small to get the car out. Okay? That's all I was trying to do. Okay? But this is the kind of mentality that we've had to deal with here. He's mean, he's irrational, and he's the mayor of the town. And we've been trying to address the situation. We've tried to we've filed the proper petitions and things that we are supposed to do to remove this sheriff. And what happens is Austin Hoffman doesn't allow the petitions to go forward like they're supposed to. The whole process is supposed to go. So it's like a clique that all work together. Okay, and this sheriff, Dave Ackerman, has been the sheriff since 2008. Okay. And I can't tell you how many crimes have happened under his, there's at least 9-10 felonies in this county that have happened that have never been addressed. He won't address any of them. Okay. So that's what we're dealing with here. Okay, so then he said by the old Sioux Road, there's a stop sign where he stopped. Then another video, you showed him stopping while you stopped just before him, where there is no stop sign. Then you proceeded to tailgate him out of town. Oh my God, I don't even know where he's like. He's just completely making this stuff up. I don't even know what he's like. And first of all, like, how do you know all these details? You're obviously in cahoots with him, or he made this up and he's telling you what happened, or there's cameras all over that everybody, it's a mixture of a lot of weird things here. Okay, no, that's not what happened. I was trying to leave town and then he was stalking me. He has stalked me before. He just drives by my house and I've got lots of pictures and videos of him just stalking me, just try to see what I'm doing, illegal spying and monitoring. He's just openly, and so all I was doing that day, I was just trying to leave, and he acted like he was trying to block me from leaving town. He follows me, right to the stop sign, and then he gets in front of me, and then he drives super slow. And then when I finally had a chance to pass him, I passed him. That's all that happened. But he got in front of me, and he was acting like he was trying to block me from leaving town. He got in front of me. First of all, he blocks my other car. I mean, you have to, when you live in this remote, and you don't have a car or a way to leave town and to get basic things, you can't survive, especially in the winter or something in this remote, because it's at least 20 minutes to get like anything basic, in some of these really small towns. So so I don't know why he made this nasty comment, but that's not what happened. And then apparently there was more comments about when I got pulled over for no reason. I believe the sheriff had me pulled over, so this was when I got pulled over for no reason. What was it? About a month and a half ago in Sisseton. Okay. So there was apparently a bunch of. Okay. Oh yeah, my friend sent me this. Yeah. So there was apparently a bunch of comments about that video as well. Where they were saying stuff about why was because you had a cracked windshield you were pulled over, or you had I have, for some reason, ever since I've been to some dirty mechanics, I have a check engine light on. Oh, you were pulled over because you had a check engine light on? I mean there were some bizarre comments about the reason why I was even there was no probable cause as to why they pulled me over. I believe the sheriff had me illegally pulled over. How would anybody know that I had a suspended license? I never got anything in the mail. It was something, that Minnesota, some thing from Minnesota apparently affected my license, and then it triggered even though I got nothing in the mail from the DMV in Minnesota, and so they just happened to know because, somebody must have told them that I had a suspended license, and they just happened to come behind me out of nowhere. That's what happened. I didn't do anything illegal. There was no probable cause as to why they pulled me over that night. Okay, so you can go ahead and say what you want and make up whatever you want. There was no probable cause, and that's illegal. You have to have probable cause. Okay, I was coming out of a gas station. Okay, so we can look at the video of what happened there, or we can, you can try to make your own comments, whatever. Okay, no, there was no probable cause. They came behind me out of nowhere, and I didn't do anything illegal at all. So, these people are really nasty here. I pose a real serious threat in this area. It's a very corrupt area. Okay, but I am running. I want people to know that I am running for a position here, and that's one of the other reasons why they're, I guess, threatened by me, or is that I am running for a precinct committee woman. I'm on the ballot here, the sample ballot for a precinct woman for a precinct 2 in McPherson County. So if you can pre-vote, and the voting day is June 2nd. So if you guys could support me, I would really appreciate it. You can pre-vote at the Leola Courthouse here in Leola, South Dakota. Okay, it's a state ballot for a Republican Party. Okay, I'm running. There's 2 other women running against me. But this is just, I was actually a state representative when I lived here before. I went to the Republican committee in Pierre or something, and voted for the county or something on some things last time I lived here. I think 2018 or something. And so I'm just, these are not, it's not even a paid position. These are just things like you just want to be able to have, to make a difference or make a change, or, learn how things work in the state. And so, it's just, yeah, the level of nobody, you shouldn't have to deal with being harassed just because you're running for a position. But I think this is one of the reasons why they're harassing me. As well, it's just so inappropriate. It's so inappropriate. Yeah. I mean, it just really tells a lot about their character, in my opinion. Okay. So, but yeah, we have a pending lawsuit that these judges in Pierre will not allow us to have a court date. Okay, and this has gone on for years. I mean, it's just illegal. You can't, this guy dismissed our federal lawsuit for no reason. He said we didn't respond. Bruce and I didn't respond to something. We never even got anything in the mail. Okay, this is, I don't understand how these judges are in power, okay, and how they can get away with this, but this is what has happened. And I mean, there's major, we looked up the laws that have been broken here, and we have, in the federal lawsuit, we have laws that we feel have been violated that are like under Title 18, Section 3 and 4. I think we wrote U.S. Codes, Title 42, civil rights violations. Okay, I mean, these were, my neighbors and I spent a lot of time, actually finding the codes and the laws that we feel that were broken here, and why we feel it's more of a federal issue. There needs to be a federal investigation into, I mean, there's so many crimes that we've heard about that have happened in this county under the sheriff that have never been addressed properly. And it's scary to even live here, because they don't do anything about some of the people that are committing the crimes. Okay, so we shouldn't have to live this way. This is what we have to deal with. It was, so I'm still really upset about that. They want to come after me with false state charges, but I don't even get to have my federal court date against them. Okay, and it's yeah, I mean, these are federal laws that are being violated here against myself and the other people in the county. Okay, I am supposed to be allowed to have the federal court date is always supposed to take precedence over any state court, but they won't let us have our federal court date. We filed that first, and in retaliation, they filed a false charge against me, and this is what I've been saying. This is retaliation, a false charge. Okay, and this has gone on for years. We are really tired of it. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to do that video today. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this. I don't, and they won't even let me monetize my channel, and so I don't get paid to do these videos. It's like the level of retaliation and different things, and I believe it has to do with these intelligence agents. I don't know. I mean, they'll never let me get over 1,000 subscribers. I'll get close, and then all of a sudden they'll delete subscribers, because you have to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to be monetized. And I've been trying to be monetized so I can actually get paid to do these videos, because I have a lot of important things to say, and a lot of important things that have affected myself and other military and other whistleblowers, and and that and they will never let me monetize on top of it. And then I have to deal with cyber stalkers and people that just want to make nasty comments as well. So, I mean, I'm just going to delete these comments and block you. Okay? If you have a question as to what happened, you can call me directly and we can have a discussion about it. You shouldn't be making nasty comments. That's like, it's super immature, and especially when you have my number, and it's ridiculous to me. So I'm just gonna delete these comments and block people like that, because I don't have time for dumb cyber stalking, especially after everything I've already been through. It's ridiculous. People need to grow up, and this corruption needs to be cleaned up. We're really tired of it here. I've tried to address it in the steps that I am supposed to have taken for years. We filed a federal lawsuit. First, we tried to go through the normal channels. You think I don't know about the chain of command? I'm military. Of course I know. We've tried all the more normal channels to try to address these different things. We tried, filing with the Attorney General complaints. That didn't go anywhere, because apparently Austin Hoffman is in cahoots with the Attorney General. Okay, so that didn't go anywhere. We've tried, like I said, we've tried filing petitions in the past to remove the sheriff, because we don't feel that he's doing a good job. And Austin Hoffman, his buddy, doesn't let the petitions go forward like they are supposed to. That's illegal. Okay, so, yeah, of course, we've tried to address things through the normal means. It's not working. It's broken. The normal system is broken. So what do? Okay, that's where we're at. These things have to be cleaned up here. There is a clique that in this county that has connections all the way to Pierre and all the way to DC and things like that. Okay, so that's what we believe that we're dealing with. Okay.